Hey everybody, Marvin here from Blacktop Banter, actually at Blacktop Banter. And in my hands, I hold a Dynapac roller, which you don't get to do very often. I've been fortunate enough to see some Dynapac rollers this year and spend some time with Dynapac. Now, Dynapac is the official compaction sponsor of Blacktop Banter. Some things about Dynapac and their roller system is the seismic system, which improves compaction by making adjustments every 0.2 seconds. Rather than have a stable compaction style, it will actually analyze a pavement and adjust that compaction. They're at the front of the line, always working on innovation and movement and everything that they can do to help improve the compaction world around asphalt. They have a huge presence online. You can find them, of course, at Dynapac.com or on social media at Dynapac_North_America or Dynapac North America, depending on where you're looking. Besides that, they're very, very active in our community as well. You can find them at many expos and shows and online, and the team as well. They have a great team there that interacts really well with our community. So if you get a chance, pop over, check them out on social media, check out what Dynapac has to offer. And as always, Dynapac is your partner on the road ahead. Hey y'all, Marvin here from Blacktop Banter. Really quick, just wanted to talk about the 800 pavement network. As you can see, we have some lettering there, lettering on our other truck over there, lettering on this truck here. They all say 1-800-Blacktop. We've been using the 1-800-Blacktop number here for the last couple of years. It's really been exceptional for us as far as making things click with our branding, and now that we're in another state, those area codes are together. It's worked out fantastically for us. The other thing is that 800 Pavement Network has other advantages. There's group discounts on a lot of the products and materials that we use within our industry. We're part of over 300 different, see that one? Over 300 different contractors that are now using these numbers all over the country. That's combined over $2 billion in gross profits. So if you've been thinking about it or you're curious about it and you're like, well, should I or shouldn't I? DM me, message me, or reach out to 800 Pavement Network. You can find them online through their website. You can call 1-800-PAVEMENT and you'll get them as well. They'd be happy to run you through kind of the advantages and everything else that we've been taking advantage of here at Wiscote and Dubuque Asphalt Maintenance, and how it can benefit you as well. Once again, if you're curious about it at all, you can always DM me. So yeah, 1-800-Blacktop. You can DM me or message me or email me through the podcast or Wiscote or wherever as well. I would love to talk to you about how it has helped us. Hey everybody, welcome back. Blacktop Banter, and this is a milestone episode for us. I've been saving my friend and guest for this episode. It's pretty dang cool, and timing is just right. This is episode 100, and we have my friend Jeani Roush, who is president of Dynapac North America, joining us. We are both gearing up to head to Con Expo in Vegas. We're all very excited. It's going to be a great time. Jeani and I met, I don't know. How long ago you think, Jeani? About a year ago or so?
At least, yeah.
Yeah. We met. Jeani we kind of knew each other through social media, and then we were at World of Asphalt, and Jamie's like, I want to show you everything. So then we went around the booth. We had a lot packed in the booth, but we had the material mover was there. We had the remote controlled paver was there. We had the beautiful United States American flag with reflective, like you see behind Jeani there. But that's really where we hit it off, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a big show. That was a big show for us. It was an honor to have you guys come around, take a look at it, and tour the booth. I think we did that little promo, right? That was
Yeah,
fun. We did that
yeah,
promo.
that
You
was a
did
good
that
one.
shoot. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I think it was really World of Asphalt.
Yeah, I had Eli with me. I remember we got a picture of
Oh
Eli
yeah, that's right.
up on the
Yeah.
mover, and
He left with a couple hats. That's good. Is he
yeah,
still
he
wearing
left with
backpack hats?
yeah, he is. He likes to wear them out and about. He always leaves that's the brutal part of going to expos and shows is your kid comes back with like tons of swag. They're like got 20 stress balls and they've never known a stress day in their life, right? And then they got all these stickers that they want to put all over your stuff, and you're like, well, yeah, I don't really want all these stickers everywhere. But the good news is you'll have pens for 8 lifetimes, right? And that's how we always end up.
Yeah.
All right, and then we got to hang out even more. We were both at Ignite conference here this last year, where we really got to know each other on a personal level. I think somewhat too. Became friends there, and that's where I was like, dude, I can't wait to have you on, have a conversation, and for us to start working together. It's very important to me that whoever we partner with and work with here at Blacktop Banter, we have a kindred spirit and we have same goals and kind of cut of the same cloth, integrity and whatnot as well. And I think we gel well that way. So I
Yeah.
want to bust into the role of what you do at Dynapac because I was able to visit. You got a lot of people there. You guys got a lot of going on, a lot of moving parts. What do you do at Dynapac?
So by title, I'm the president of Dynapac. Simple,
Yeah.
right? But that encompasses a lot of different things. I think for me, mostly it's about providing clear and strategic direction for everybody, right? I think for me, it's important that each person continues to feel like they have a purpose, and each person clearly understands what the mission is and how we get good products out to the field, and then the products are trusted and utilized. And stay running and making people money. I think as long as we, for me, it's important just to clearly communicate and motivate people to continue in a good direction that way.
Yeah, I mean, when I was there, you and I were talking about, and we won't go into it, but we were talking about growth, right? You and I talk about growth a lot, whether it's business or personal or whatever. And you're pretty proud, man, of the steps that and the progress that's been made, right, since you've been at the helm. And it's noticeable, right? And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say just since I've been
Brag
at
it
the
up,
helm.
no.
I think for us it really started when we entered into the FIAT group back in 2017. From a FIAT perspective, that's fantastic for us. As you probably know from a history perspective, from a Dynapac standpoint, we had gone through a series of acquisitions from private equity to
Yep.
the prior Atlas Copco group, and then finally in 2017 landed within the FIAT group. And so I think for us, really the growth of the trajectory started in 2017, right? When
Hmm.
the FIAT acquired us, and really from a core values perspective, it's really there. You can hear it, see it, feel it with us. Is that one of the primary core values that they tell us is they give us autonomy,
Yeah.
right? And so Mr. FIAT, who I've met several times, I mean, he really trusts us to understand the market, trusts us to understand the products that are needed for the market. And then on top of that, from the autonomy side, is giving us what we call the audacity, right? The audacity to actually do something, to make a difference, to really understand what the market should be, and then react to it and be quick, and then come out with innovative products and things like that. So I would like to say it's me from the past 18 or 20 months, but it has really started back in 2017.
Yeah.
But from that perspective, I mean, as you saw for us, I mean, World of Asphalt was really kind of my first foray into, from a leadership perspective. It was our first show, right?
Hmm.
And so we had made a lot of really good strides, and you can continue to see us making a lot of good strides in the market. And it's all sort of building on top of each other as we go, right?
Yeah.
And so Conexpo is going to be even better. It's going to be even bigger. It's going to be even stronger. And so all of it's about positioning for us, right? And has been for a long time. I mean, when you were at World of Asphalt, you stood in our booth for a while. You heard people saying, "Oh man, I'm so glad to hear Dynapac is back. I used to run one of these when my grandpa was out here.
Yep.
Dynapac was the only factor there was." And so
Yep.
it's really cool to see that excitement come back and so forth. But again, I think it starts. It's been a real cool thing for us since 2017, and more recently, to really put some full force into the marketing side, and show that we really are back and have made really good strides of improvement.
When you talk about that, right, when you said go full force into the marketing side, it couples with a word you said audacity, right? We're
Yeah.
like, oh man, they give us audacity. It's no secret that in order to be in the ring that you're in, those companies swing, right? Like they go all out. You notice like that audacity of, hey, we're here too, right? And
Yeah.
this is what we bring to the table. And that's what got me excited when I was there. I got to hang out with one of your main guys, VJ, and we
Yeah.
were talking about um, seismic impact, right? And the reverb into the pavement and all this stuff. And then able for me to put that together and then us talk about the future. Like we've had discussions about like EV, right? Going into the future with electric and whatnot. And that's one of those things where it's like you can clearly see there's a level that where people are where companies are, right? And there's only so many that are have the audacity to hang out up in this realm. And it's so cool to see Dynapac up in that realm of like, okay, we're going to bring it too, right? And it's so much fun. It makes the events and the expo so much fun because everybody's bringing their best right then, right now. That's what's going to make Con Expo exciting too, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think for us, it's really about pushing the envelope. I mean, and a lot of this for a lot of us, it's really new. I mean, I think you said it in your last episode to think about where we are today from a social media perspective versus where we were is
Yeah,
absolutely incredible. Like I still have my kids teaching me stuff about social media every day, and but I still like to be pretty active, right? And so for us, it's about pushing the envelope. It's about posting stuff that is that exactly what we should be posting, or is it exactly perfect? Like sometimes, look, especially on TikTok, especially on IG, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't have to be like this exact, like people want to see live stuff. They want to see
right,
demos. They want to see working. They want to see, how it actually runs in the field, let alone, some produced clip, and so I think that
right.
makes a difference for us. Really try to get out there and show some of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen it, and especially in our content since we've become friends. Some of our best ones are just crude selfie videos, or a buddy recording a buddy doing something
Right.
on a piece of equipment, or doing something fun, and then all of a sudden it starts to create brand awareness when it comes to that. But it's an interesting time because, um, especially on social media side, you guys do such a great job. I've noticed everybody on the team has a presence on social media. They have their own presence on social media with their own handles. And one thing that I've noticed quite a bit is in your culture at Dynapac, everybody is bought in, right? Like they believe, right?
It's
And that's
fantastic, right?
it's dude, it's so much fun, and it makes it so much fun.
Yeah.
Some of my best memories of all of us hanging out are when I bring like the devil's advocate thing to the table, and your whole team's like, no way, nope, it's nine pack, right? And I'm just like, oh, okay, I'll be quiet, like I believe it, and then all these reasons why, but it makes it so much fun because that's what you need, right? To have that audacity to be in the ring and play, you need to have everybody believing in it. And it's so much fun to see that. I want to parlay that statement into what you love about Dynapac, Jamie. Like is it that same thing where you just have this team that believes and is all supportive? You can say multiple things, but what do you love about Dynapac since you've been there?
Yeah, I think look, it starts with the people, right? In general, the people here, everybody's so passionate about Dynapac and our success. And we run it that way. I run it that way from a standpoint of letting people make decisions and giving them the autonomy to really run their area or do their thing, whether it's someone in customer support, technical support, accounting, procurement. It's really their own baby, right? And so for me, I like for them to continue to treat it like that. They make decisions like it was their own company. And I think that's
Yeah,
cool, and it keeps the spirit together for everybody. I mean, it makes us sound really small, but each person within the group has their own feeling about how they can grow and respect the brand and growth together. So it's
yeah,
really cool.
yeah. I've noticed another thing, right? Um, we talk about the smaller components that Dynapac makes and the larger components that Dynapac makes. That beautiful paver behind you, and hopefully some larger stuff that we get to see soon. But the one thing I've noticed is not only is everybody bought in, but almost everybody can tell you almost everything about the machines that Dynapac create on your team. Whether it's I'm with Tito and he's really diving in and telling me, or I'm walking by and a great friend of mine, Dormy, is like, Marvin, you gotta see this and check this out
Yeah.
because she's interested in the paving world. Even Jen,
Yeah.
right? When we had stuff going, Jen was like, hey, this is a cool feature. This roller, you do this, you do this. This is what does it. Uh, is that just by osmosis that they know all this stuff, or how do we get to where almost anybody on your team at any time I can ask almost any question, and if they can't get it, they're going to be pretty close or find me.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. Yeah. Well, we do spend a lot of time working on product trainings and coming out with a lot of innovative technologies. But I think from a technology perspective, the stuff that you see that we have is all useful, right? It's all meaningful. It's all about productivity. It's all about uptime. Improving experience. When you talk about, like, for example, you mentioned. You'll probably play it before this. I don't know, but you talk about seismic in the ad, right?
Yeah, yeah,
In the pro. I mean, for us, a lot of that stuff becomes, when it becomes you're the innovator and you're the only one that has it, it becomes pretty cool to talk about, right? And people really, you don't have to sell it, right? I'm not having to
right,
sell for people to learn. Like, they just want to learn. Like, seismic is a pretty cool invention, right?
yeah,
You literally turn it on and drive the machine and optimizes compaction.
yeah. It's wild, man.
How much cooler is that, right?
It doesn't
Or
get much cooler than that.
right, at World of Asphalt, we'll have it at ConExpo too. But we launched the little compact paver, the little golf course paver, or the
Yep.
wheel run paver that has a remote, like
Yeah,
literally drive it with the remote
it was
control.
cool.
I mean, those things are cool, right? And so, because they're cool in general, our people gravitate to accept it, right? And so,
Yeah.
having cool innovations that mean something to the contractors out there, it makes a difference. And so, they want to gravitate to learn it and understand it and explain it, and it's neat. So,
Yeah, yeah. We're it's you find people along the way that are equipment geeks, right? And asphalt geeks, but
aren't we all?
well, that's why I was gonna say no, we're not all that. It just happens to be that your culture and your atmosphere there at Dynapac, you all are. Yeah,
Feels
yeah,
like we
you
all
all are.
are.
That's right. That's right. That's why I'm trying to tell you all it's a unique thing,
Yeah.
but it makes for a great experience for me, anyways. And I gotta imagine it's for anybody else. When you deal with Dynapac, it makes for a great experience on that end because you don't seem to have that issue where you're trying to explain something. You just get understood, which is always great and fantastic when you're dealing with a company. Um,
Yeah.
the other thing I wanted to ask you is, and I know the easy answer is going to be Con Expo and what we have coming up, but what makes you excited, man, about the future? Because when we were at World of Asphalt, you were telling me all these things that make you excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was in the conference room at Dynapac, I don't know, 6 months ago or so. And I
Yeah.
was looking at a whiteboard, and VJ came in and stood by me. He's like, "Do you know what you're looking at?" And I explained to him that I did know what I was looking at. The next thing you know, we're really excited, me and him talking about it. He was explaining to me what I was looking at in regards to what you guys have. And
Yeah.
Dormy looked at us like we were like geeks, right? And she's like, "You guys are such nerds when it comes to this," but it got us excited. So I'm curious, what about Dynapac has you excited for the future?
Well, I think, okay, at a high level, we will continue to push new product into the market that is exciting and fun. You'll see the electrics there. We launched the 900E at ARA.
Mhm.
We'll have the 900 and the 1000E. I think that stuff's exciting. I think we'll continue. We'll launch some other cool innovations at ConExpo too. But really, I might surprise you here, but we are this close to officiating the announcement of our new headquarters.
Oh, cool, man. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, so I'm just closing on about 40 acres of land here in the Charlotte area. We will open up our own headquarters here with a full level competence center, outdoor mill and fill area. It's going to be pretty cool. So that, I would
Dude.
say, that's the most exciting, also the most nerve wracking
Oh
piece,
yeah.
right?
Oh, for
Because
sure.
it's going to change a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
Um, for us, I mean, and it's really cool, right? So, just to talk about the people from that perspective for a second,
Yeah.
we literally did a zip code survey right? We did a zip code heat map and determined, okay, well, if we're moving, we want to make sure that we maintain employee,
Retention
concentration.
right there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right. So we did it, and we said, so we went when we went to the real estate guys. We said it has to fall within this area. This is where we're looking. It has to fall within this area. So but it's cool. It's going to be
That
cool. It's going to be exciting. It's going to, like I said, it's going to move me to the end of my nerves. But
Oh,
okay,
for
fine.
sure. I was gonna say you guys are gonna be moving a lot, man. That's quite an undertaking.
I'm not a general contractor from that perspective, so
Yeah,
and I like to ask a lot of questions and talk about a lot,
yeah.
all the details.
It'll be
So
nice to have a home, like a home, because I mean, you guys do a great job embodying where home is where your heart is, and you can see
yeah,
that when I'm around you all, right? And I feel like I'm home whenever we're hanging out, no matter where we are. I feel like I'm at home with Dynapac, but it's gonna be nice, right, to have that, and I can't wait for the grand opening. We'll try to be there, or the soft
yeah.
opening. I'll also try to be there. Maybe I'm lurking in the parking lot. Who knows at that
or,
point?
or, or everything in between.
Or anything in between. Yeah, maybe just
Yeah.
a few openings. I guess we'll
But
all come to here or
I
there.
mean, in all seriousness, we have talked about, so once we acquire the land, there's going to be a portion of time where specs have to happen and design work happens. We may actually hold a product training too, or live product
Yeah,
demonstration.
yeah, that'd be
So
bad. Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be bad. Yeah, be able to do something like that would be crazy, man. And it's a cool thing to see that, right? That excites you, right? Because then that creates more stability and creates a home, like we were talking for the team. But I really get excited when I think about Dynapac, right? And you said it earlier, like Dynapac's back. Like people are like, man, Dynapac's back. We used to run this, we used to do this, whatever. I get excited that when in my mind, or even when where we are, like we'll be at ConExpo, that the presence and branding of Dynapac keeps growing, right? It just keeps growing and growing. And for me, I know that if that happens, more than likely we're going to get more sales and more things on Dynapax in that allow for more innovation, more excitement, more of these things. But I wanted to ask you about. I seen a update the other day. I try to stay in the loop, man, the best I can with everything I have going on. But I seen another, a distributor and a retailer that you guys have and partner with. You guys have a great network, right, of retailers. Can you touch on that a little bit about how that makes Dynapac available wherever?
yeah. So I go to market two ways. I go through a dealer channel and a rental channel. On the dealer side, we've got about 50 dealers covering the entire U.S. and Canada. And we're really excited about the customer partners we have. On the dealer side, look, we invest a lot of this. It's not just about selling for us.
Hmm.
Uh, a lot of the people know us personally, which is really cool, right? I mean,
Right.
literally, people at the dealerships know me personally. They know our people personally. Have even been maybe to my house for dinner.
Yeah.
And so all that stuff from a relationship perspective makes a lot of difference. And in our market, you might not be the only a Dynapac dealer. You might be, another manufacturer's dealer. And so to have those relationships helps the customer in the end know
Hmm.
that they're going to get support parts, all that stuff, because those our dealers care about us. They care about our growth.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we were, I can't remember. I think it might have been before I came and seen you, just before winter, and everything shuts down up here, right? And we were getting a highway project done, and I see um familiar piece of equipment I've seen before, and then I see a huge Dynapac roller, right, parked down
Mhm.
by the river at night and whatever, and I'm like, man, they can go anywhere. Like
Yeah.
you could be anywhere and see a Dynapac in the States, which is totally cool, especially when we have those conversations with some of the I like to call them the old school guys at the booth. We're like, man, I grew up on a Dynapac. We rode Dynapac, did this, and we use this machine. And to see the new machines back where we are, it's like, okay, all right, this is gonna be cool. Um,
And it sticks out too, right? You can see
oh
it
yeah,
now, especially
totally.
with the new paint scheme that we
They're
have since
sexy, bro.
launched. And
I'm
yeah,
I'm gonna be
right.
honest with you. They're like Dynapac for me has the aesthetics. Like they're sexy machines. It's like if I was going by and I seen like a Camaro and a Mustang and I see all this stuff and then I see a Jaguar. Like the Jaguar sticks out, right? It's like, yeah, it's on par with all these things, but it also is sexy and looks good. And that's what we were really excited about, the United States logo on the one at World of Asphalt, right? And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden I started looking at the rollers, and you can see the curvatures around the front coming up, and you guys got good looking machines, man. They stand out.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of that also has functionality too, right? So the curves on the rollers allow you for drum edge access and to be a clear view of the edge of the drum and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, a lot of upfront marketing and research went. I mean, okay, for us it wasn't that hard. Everybody recognized the red, the
Yeah.
Dynapac red color, and
Yep.
so to bring that back and to make it even more prominent was very important for the brand back when we
Yeah.
when we relaunched in 2017. So
Yeah.
I think the real difference was the white, right? That was the bigger difference,
Yeah.
and not be like everyone else with the yellow or whatever color, right?
Yeah, yeah. It helps you. I always say it, man. I say it with anything that we do marketing wise. You have to differentiate, right? And you want it to be a differentiator that either separates you from everybody else just by optics or view, or you want it to be a differentiator of value, right? There's only two things, and you really want to differentiate. And you guys, like I said, like you said, you don't want to just be lined up to a bunch of yellow machines, right? And be
Yeah,
like, oh,
because
how
when
does
you're
that look?
driving down a
How's this any
highway
different?
project, you just see a bunch of yellow, right? Most of the
Yep.
time, a bunch of yellow. Not
Yep.
to disparage
Not,
yellow
not,
machinery, but for
yeah.
me, I have my kids call me, "Hey, Dad, I was on whatever turnpike and I just saw 5 Dynapac rollers." You're like, "Oh, it was that easy," because he can see them easily because of the color
Yeah.
scheme, you know.
Well, I mean, they don't, most of the time you don't see Lamborghinis in gray, right? Or silver. I mean, right. So, I mean, and there's
Fair.
a reason why they want to stick out. They want to differentiate, right? So that they feel like they got huge value and whatnot. And it's true. It just, rain. It just is true, I guess. So that leads me to one thing, which we can start rounding towards is Con Expo, right? We've hinted to it a little bit. I know you're not going to show your hand, but what can we expect without being really specific about what we can expect at Con Expo from Dynapac?
Well, what, 2.8 million square feet, you
It's
know,
nuts.
1,800 exhibitors, I think I read, several
Yeah,
hundred education sessions. Yeah,
we're
I mean,
never going to see it all.
it's going to be absolutely incredible. First and foremost, I will be at an education session. So I will be with Sarah Fueling at AEM and several other honored speakers as well to participate with me about the future of road building. So
Yeah,
that will be on Tuesday. So that will be exciting. But from a booth perspective, we have our largest booth ever at Con Expo. We are close to where we were last year, but it is a 8,000 square foot booth. It is going to be off the hook.
man, oh man, that's
If
tight.
you thought World of Asphalt was cool, yeah, yeah, it's going to be. We're bringing the fire this time, so we'll be there with. It's about 30 plus machines. Where we showcase what 16 of the machines are either brand new to the market or have been upgraded since. And we'll
Wild.
have the entire line. Yeah, we'll have from the compact paving equipment, that some of that stuff that you saw at World of Asphalt,
Yeah,
all the way up to the big stuff, the big 84-inch double vibes and Aussies.
man, that's wild. 16 pieces. It's
Yeah.
wild, man.
16 new pieces. And
Yeah,
then we'll have a special orientation for how we have the equipment staged in there. So a lot of people who do heavy highway will probably recognize how we have the equipment staged. So it'll be pretty cool from that
cool,
perspective. And
cool,
then and
man.
then while the American flag is not officially going to be there, there will definitely be something special.
Cool. Cool. I'll make sure to have Wise bring extra memory cards and whatnot for his
Yeah,
cameras, because I got a feeling we're gonna be
it's gonna
spending a
be
lot.
cool. We,
Dude,
we'll as I mentioned earlier, we'll also do the electrics. I depending on who you are and how you take it, a lot of people love the electrics. A lot of people do not love the electrics. So,
yeah. This is
but
what it is.
we'll have it there. We'll have ours. From a design perspective, Dynapac had an electric roller 10 years ago.
Really?
it's incredible to think about. It's just the market wasn't ready for it at that point. You could argue it may
Yeah.
not be ready now. Different discussion.
Yeah.
But it was out 10 years ago. Just wasn't really ready.
Well,
The market wasn't really ready.
that's similar to people making videos about the asphalt industry and seal coating. They weren't ready 10 years ago either, but
Yeah,
now you see
I know.
everybody doing it.
You got to start somewhere, right? And
Yeah.
what I think I might have even said this at Ignite. While everyone may not love electrics and doesn't see the migration of the market moving to electrics,
Hmm.
I also didn't foresee that walking around with my head in my phone every day. One
Right.
time, and
Hmm.
if you have to be someone, and I don't want to be mean to anyone, but I'd rather be the iPhone and not the Samsung.
Right. Right. That's how we are. That's how we say too. I mean,
Right?
there's a lot of organizations and partners that we could have and work with and whatnot. And I would much rather be the iPhone than the Samsung. I definitely don't want to be the Nokia, right? Like I definitely don't want to be the Nokia. So
Watch,
I'm
they'll come back in 10 years from now. Somebody from Nokia will be playing this video.
Yeah, probably. They'll probably come out with a line of door stops because that's about all they were good for about nowadays. I'm playing Snake. When I was in school, we used to play Snake on it, where you bit the.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be an apple, but it was just a pixel. But yeah, I mean they had their place too, which everything has its place at one point. But same thing, right? Blockbuster doesn't exist anymore for a reason. Just times
Yeah.
move on, and sometimes if you aren't there, and at least trying and at least dabbling with it, it's definitely going to make the transition a lot harder, right? So depending on whatever happens with EV, I think it's a bonus to be in the realm of it no matter what,
Yeah.
because you are going to have
Yeah.
people that do like it and love it.
And,
Um,
and, we'll also launch the new. So you saw the transfer vehicle at World of Asphalt, but this one will
yes,
have the iMix 2.0, the new updated remix system. So that will be presented there. We have commercial pavers that will be there with some nice upgrades. We have the little electric rammers, little plates, which I think that's actually going to be more realistic and sustainable, right?
yeah.
I think those will take off. And then, of course, like I said, all the excited stuff that we'll have more than one machine done nice. There'll
Dude,
be more than one machine wrap for sure.
the cool. The material mover is like a brontosaurus, man. It's like it's a machine when you get there and look at it. It's intimidating. You
Yeah,
know that it gets crap done, right? Like
yeah,
this thing gets stuff done. We got up there in the top of it, and Eli was like, "I feel like I'm in a control tower." I'm like, "Dude, you pretty much are, man, because it
yeah.
does a lot."
He probably felt at home, right? Because one of the things about our operator stations is we're always trying to gear it towards sort of the futuristic or
Yep,
like that machine particularly has dials and a joystick and things
yep.
like this. And so,
He sat right down and stuck his hands on it. Like he
right?
didn't know what he was doing, but he
Yeah,
knew that if he just wiggled a little bit, he'd probably be able to find out.
yeah.
There's a lot goes into it, man. There's a lot of thought
Now
process.
think about our troubles in the industry of engaging a younger generation into construction and into construction equipment.
Yep,
Put a kid in a seat, and all of a sudden he's at home, and maybe
yep,
it's not so hard for that transition, right? And so those are things that we kind of try to think through ahead of time to really help the industry.
yeah. And you notice that a little bit, right? Where when I was younger, you just moved levers, right? You pulled this lever, turned you this way, and you cranked this knob and did this way. And now there's joysticks, right? Where you know, with him and I play video games quite a bit. He's much better than I am, but I notice that I have to think about things a little more than he does. He's just naturally like, oh, yeah, this is how it moves. It's similar to the guys you see that are killing it in skid steers or whatever, right? Or whether earth movers or whatever, they don't think about what they're doing. It just becomes an extension of them. The easiest part is that fact that Eli was he was 11 years old then, just sits down and grabs things and like, oh yeah, this probably does this, this does this. I mean, it's important going into the future that
Yeah.
they adapt to it and are able to adapt to it and feel at home there.
But we
Um,
do also have the switches and levers if you decide, like even on the commercial paver, how many
yeah,
jobs So when we were doing the training, we were doing a demo with one of the customers down in Florida, and I hopped on, started turning screws, and like, "What's he doing?" I said, "I'm helping turn screws." And they were laughing.
Yeah.
They're like, "Nobody really turns screws anymore, guy. It's remote." Okay, well, I
Well,
like to turn screws.
yeah, if I have to, I have to. People give me crap because when I if we bought a skid steer here a year or so ago, and it was an older one that I was used to where it was foot feeds, right? And I'm like, dude, I'm using the foot feeds. Like, this is why I bought it, because I want to be natural. The guys use the hand controls and whatever, they're fine with it. But for me, like, I use foot feed. No one uses that, man. We ended up getting rid of it because, like, no one, they're like, we're not going to use that old dog. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
well, all right, I guess. I'm not just going to cruise it around, I guess. So,
yeah, right.
it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, once you get in and get used to it with anything else, you get a feel for it and get an understanding of it, and it becomes second nature. The the organization, the organ the organizational efforts that you have to put forth in order to make everything click at Dynapac, especially with Con Expo coming, right? And then moving into the new facility that will be coming up. That takes something that is a word that is tossed around quite a bit nowadays in corporate and business settings and whatnot. And I think just in general as well. And that's leadership,
Mm.
right? I before we depart today, I really wanted to ask you about this because you, as I said, your team believes very much. They're always on task fairly well. I've noticed. You guys are goal oriented and hit them and keep moving. There are people listening that obviously aren't presidents of companies like yours. And maybe they're not owner operators like myself at Wisco and whatnot, but somewhere they are a leader, right? If they're, whether that's the head of their family or whether that's the head of a crew or whether they're the head of marketing or sales or whatever.
Yeah.
Some general advice that you've learned about leadership would be greatly appreciated by people listening. You have anything on top of mind?
I have lots of things, but I think for me, it's about setting a clear direction and communicating, right? Continue to communicate. Usually, every time people want to do good, they want to do well, they want to do right by the company, they want to do things to grow their career.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, if there's a mistake, it's as long as they're doing what I was talking about earlier, if they're running it like it's their own company, if they're doing whatever it is like it's their own company,
Mm-hmm.
usually the mistake is a minor course correction. It's never, oh, we should have gone this way, but we went that way. And
Right.
so I think, giving people the autonomy to do what they need to do, communicating a clear division, a clear strategic direction, um, and this is really important for me, and I think you found that out very quickly. Being approachable,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, I leave my door open all the time. I'm always out talking to people. I'm always out in the field. I'm with dealers. I'm with contractors. I mean, I try to pride myself in being very approachable, and I think that makes a big difference. Is I have people come up to me and say, "Hey, I met you at X," or "I remember you were on the back of the paver at Y," or this kind of thing. And I think for me, it makes a difference, and I think for Dynapac, it makes a difference to have a leader who's very approachable in
Yeah.
all aspects.
Yeah. When I was there, I had to close your door. Right. I was like, we're gonna have a conversation. Like, well, normally I can see it's second nature. Jamie doesn't close his door, I guess.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I just want people to feel comfortable to provide input or because so one time back when I was a second shift production supervisor way back early in my career, I was a 5S facilitator on night shift, and I remember the first ever night shift facilitation event that I did. It was a complete failure,
oh,
and
really?
it's because I was this young kid and I knew exactly how to do everything. I was going to come in and tell them how they needed to fix the assembly line.
Yeah.
Well, we had to do it again a month later because the new 5S guy thought he knew how to do it. And the reality is I don't. I don't
Yeah.
know that. I know we have production targets to meet. I know we have to but in general, the people who do the business, who do the work, know what needs to be done to improve it. And
Yeah.
so again, it's about giving that latitude, giving that autonomy to allow them to do that.
Well, that's a great piece of advice, my friend. I appreciate it a lot, and I appreciate you sharing that with everybody listening as well. So we are going to see each other next week, especially Tuesday. I'll be there Sunday. Monday, I have media day, which is a first for us here at Blacktop Banner. So apparently, we're getting our big boy britches on as of late. I'm super excited to see you. I want people to be able to follow Dynapac before then. This podcast will probably come out early weekend, if not late this week yet, because I don't want it to come out right before. I kind of want people to hear it a little bit and get excited going into the weekend. But
Oh,
um,
cool. Okay, good.
yeah, we'll pop it out a little early. Special treatment for Dynapac pre Con Expo. Um, the socials you can find Dynapac at are, especially on Instagram, are at Dynapac_North_America. And then Jamie's is at Dynapac_Jamie_Roush. Roush. And and you can also find Dynapac online, right on the website. If you go on Facebook, you'll find them there as well. The whole team is on LinkedIn as well. You type in Dynapac on LinkedIn, you're going to find the members of the team and what they're up to and what they're doing. Very fantastic. My friend, thank you very much for joining us here today. It was a fantastic conversation, man, and a lot of great insight. Any last words before we sign off and be done for the day and try to get our ducks in a row before we fly halfway across the country?
I appreciate having me on. You've had a lot of fantastic guests, all of them, and I'm honored to be here. And I thank you for what you're doing for what how far you've pushed the industry. And I sincerely appreciate our partnership. So thank you for that. And I'm happy to go on anytime you want.
Thanks, man. I think we're gonna if Sarah can get a panel put together with you on it, I'm gonna get a panel with people put together on it, and we're gonna have some great conversations. Especially, we maybe we'll do one after Con Expo, just called the aftermath or something like that.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
it's gonna be pretty
Post
interesting.
mortem.
Yeah, post mortem. Yeah, Thursday. I have a feeling it's not going to be rounding around well for this guy, but we've been good and we do good, and we're excited to bring everything we can from Dynapac. We appreciate the partnership too. Looking forward to much more content and much more partnerships in the future going forward. We're pretty excited about everything we have going on here, which we're excited about everything you guys have going on there too. So we're really excited for it. Jamie, episode 100, my friend, you made it.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, my friend. All right, for myself and for Jamie Roush at Dynapac, this is episode 100 of Blacktop Banter. And as always, we speak asphalt. Peace.